What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com and welcome back to our Breeders Cup coverage. Let's look at an early preview of the Breeders Cup Juvenile on this video here as we kind of move closer to the Juvenile and, of course, closer to the Breeders Cup. For this preview, I'm going to kind of look at the 10 horses that are listed on the Breeders Cup website as contenders for the Breeders Cup Juvenile. I'll pull that screen up for you now. You can find this at breederscup.com. You can go to the contenders list, and that's where you can find all this. So if you want to kind of follow along yourself there, that's where you can find it over at breederscup.com. I'm going to go through them one by one here, and I'll start with just the first one they have listed and go through, right? And Intrepido is the horse I'm going to start with. A recent winner of the American Pharoah Stakes and upset all those Bob Baffert horses. He had, so many of them, and a couple of them, at least one of them, we'll talk about here on the video. But Intrepido was able to beat those Bob Baffert horses there in the American Pharoah at Santa Anita and did it pretty, easily, in my opinion. It kind of looked down the stretch. He was going to be the winner the whole way around. Before that, did win a maiden special weight at Del Mar after finishing fourth in his debut at Del Mar in a maiden special weight. Look, I think this is a horse that seems to be getting better. Seemed to like going two turns. I'm not sure how good that race was overall. I do think, though, it was good enough to put him in a situation where he's got a shot here. This is a horse by a Maximus Mischief. You don't really think two turns when you think about that, but out of a Pleasantly Perfect mare, that's probably where the stamina is going to come from. So, look, I was going into that race thinking, this is a real prove it ground for this horse, and he proved it. He ran pretty well. So how do we view him going forward? Well, I don't think we're lining up to see one of the deepest juveniles we've ever seen. I think we've got a couple of really nice looking horses, and then the rest leave a little bit to be desired, to be quite honest. So I think Intrepido comes in with a chance. We know he likes Southern California with wins at both Del Mar and Santa Anita. So I think he comes in with a little bit of a chance in this spot. I think he's one you got to take a long look at. The second horse we'll talk about is Ted Noffey. And going to be the favorite, I would imagine, and a deserving favorite after winning the Breeders' Futurity last time out at Keeneland and doing it very impressively, stretched out to two turns and got the job done, like I said, impressively. So check that box. Going a mile and a 16th. Is a horse that doesn't need the lead or anything like that, can sit off of it just a bit, but does have early enough speed where he's not too far behind. That's a horse you kind of like in these situations. So, checks a lot of boxes. 3 for 3 overall, beautiful maiden special weight win, improved in the hopeful, and in my opinion, improved again in the Breeders' Futurity. Like I said, deserving favorite. Todd Pletcher, obviously trainer of this one. He's won this race before, Fierceness being the last one back at Santa Anita a couple years ago. So all systems go. You wanted to see this horse go two turns. At least I did, and he did it very, very well. You kind of thought he might. He was finishing full of run, going 7 furlongs in the hopeful. He finished, what looked to me, pretty strongly in the Breeders' Futurity, like he didn't mind going that distance whatsoever. So good effort there for him. Let's keep going to a Bob Baffert runner. We'll talk about a couple here back to back. The first one, Desert Gate. This is a horse that ran second to Intrepido in the American Pharoah. I actually thought Desert Gate ran okay. I do think this is a horse that's going to like going long, maybe even longer than a mile and a 16th. Horses by Omaha Beach out of a Curlin mare. That kind of tells me let's get a mile a quarter as quick as we can, right? So I don't know if a mile and 16th Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he'll be able to turn the tables on a couple of these or maybe even beat, a horse like Ted Noffey. I'm not sure, but I think he's going to be around. I think he's going to be around. I like I said, he did get beat in the American Pharoah, and that didn't happen a whole lot to Baffert horses this time of year, and so that's not the greatest sign, at least to Baffert horses in Southern California, I should say. So, but look, I still think he's in there with a shot. Baffert seems to think he'll be okay. Give him another shot at it. I don't know if Breeders' Cup Day is the day, but I would keep an eye out for this one. I think the pedigree's there, and I think if he gets better, he could be one that we're going to be talking about some. Before that loss, finishing second in the American Pharoah, who's also second in the Del Mar Futurity. To the horse we're going to talk about next, let's go ahead and get to him now, and that is Brant. Now, Brant is a very interesting horse in the fact that he did not run in the last round of local prep races. He only has 2 starts. They both came right there at Del Mar. It was a maiden special weight victory going 1 turn, and then he won the Del Mar Futurity going 7 furlongs, but still a 1-turn race. He's also got a lot of I would say, negative comments on your social media platforms, Twitter mostly, about his paddling. And what I mean by that is, if you go watch the head on, he certainly is a horse that that leg his kind of jets out to the side when he's running pretty roughly there. So, look, I think that's not great. I've seen paddlers in the past, though. Essential Quality is one that comes to mind. He was able to win a lot of big races while being known as a paddler. Vekoma is one that comes to mind as well, but still able to win. Horses tend to, when they have that kind of running action, do get injured a little bit. Maybe they want to space out his races, and that's why he didn't run in the last prep. I don't like that, that a horse is going to try 2 turns for the first time at the Breeders' Cup. I do think that is a negative. I think there's a lot of talent there, and I think it's been shown, and I think that's just me stating the obvious. If you watch his races, there's a lot of talent there. But I don't know. I'm more concerned about running a mile 16 for the first time at the Breeders' Cup than I am the paddling situation. So we'll just have to monitor and see. He could, I would think he will be your second choice, may even be a favorite with it being Bob Baffert out of Southern California. He won the race last year here at Del Mar. So obviously a lot of talent. And you're just going to have to decide, do I want to take a little bit of a shorter price, whether he's the favorite or the second choice, on a horse that did not run that mile and 16th prep race. So that's kind of the situation there. Let's talk about the next one on the list. And I had actually heard that Blackout Time may not be coming to the Breeders' Cup, but he's still listed on the page here. I loved the race Blackout Time ran last time out. Finished second to Ted Noffey in the Breeders' Futurity there at Keeneland. I thought he ran very, very well. This was a horse that stretched out to 2 turns at Ellis Park and was super nice. A nice looking maiden special weight win. And he gave Ted Noffey a little bit of a scare. He made him work for it. Let's put it that way. He made him work for it. Couldn't get the job done. I like this horse going forward. I kind of heard he wasn't coming, so we'll see what happens. But I think he's interesting, whether it be, at the Breeders' Cup or in future races later on as a 2-year-old or into the 3-year-old season. Obviously, that's probably where they'll target. So, I thought it was a good race for Blackout Time. I think he's a good horse. I think he ran into one of the better, if not the best, juvenile in the country, and he ran second to him. No disrespect or no disgrace to do that. Let's keep going with Talkin' next. Talkin', a horse by Good Magic, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile right there at Del Mar, won it as a maiden, and by a Tis Now Mare. So, yeah, obviously 2 turns not going to be a problem. This will be the first 2-turn race for this horse. Broke the maiden going 1 turn at Saratoga and then ran second in the Champagne Stakes last time out. The winner of the Champagne Stakes, Napoleon Solo, not coming to the Breeders' Cup. So Talkin' is kind of that one of the, at least the New York representatives in this race. And really, as of right now, is kind of the representative. You don't have anybody else at least listed from that New York set. Look, I think this horse will improve going 2 terms. I think he's a little bit of a sleeper, but he really was no match whatsoever to Napoleon Solo. So that is the negative here. He's going to have to improve quite a bit. Let's keep going. Speaking of improvement, we're going to have to see it from Civil Liberty. If you go, well, who is Civil Liberty? Don't feel too bad. The horse is still a maiden. 3 races, 3 losses. Second on debut at Del Mar. Third in the Del Mar Futurity. So ran in a stakes race 2 races back. And then ran in a stakes race last time out, finishing 4th in the American Pharoah. I obviously feel like this horse can compete. They've been tried 2 straight stakes races as a maiden. And the plan is, at least for now, at least according to the Breeders' Cup website, is to come here. Sources by Independence Hall out of a Tis Now Mare. So look, we said just a minute ago, hey, Good Magic was able to win this race as a maiden. So it's not impossible to do. But if you go back and look at Good Magic's races, they were very impressive compared to Civil Liberty. I don't have a lot of interest in this one. It looks like a maiden special weight would be logical for this horse, but they're going to try it and we'll see what happens. But not a whole lot of interest in this one. Let's keep going. Another Bob Baffert here. This is the 3rd Bob Baffert runner listed in the probable section, and that's Litmus Test. Horse broke the maiden at Del Mar, 4th in the Del Mar Futurity after that, and then 3rd behind 2 horses I like, Ted Noffey and Blackout Time in the Breeders' Futurity. I didn't love the race, but I didn't hate the race either. I think this horse shows up with a little bit of a chance to maybe hit the board. I'm not real sure past that. I don't think this is the winner of the race, although it is Bob Baffert. And last year, Citizen Bull won this race, and that kind of was not the horse everybody thought would win it for Baffert. So you always have to kind of respect him here at Del Mar. See what happens with litmus test here. Probably not one I'm going to use, but one if he wins, you go, oh yeah, it is Baffert. I could see it. Two more here. Comport next, a horse I really, really liked going into the Iroquois Stakes last time out at Churchill Downs. He didn't run very well in that race. He got second there, and the horse that beat him didn't come back to run very well in the Breeders' Futurity. So, yeah, I kind of liked him coming into that. I don't like him much coming out of it. I don't have a lot of interest here in this one. It'll be very interesting, though, to see how he does, if he can maybe bounce back and run kind of like I thought he would in the Iroquois. Maybe he can make a little bit of an impact. The horse is by collected out of a flatter mare. So, yeah, you think a mile 16th would help, but going to have to get better off of that last race. No doubt about it. And then finally, and this is one that I didn't know until I was recording this video and kind of looking through the probables. Caborg is the last one here, and you go, if you're out there going, well, who is Caborg and why haven't I heard of him? He only has one race under his belt. It was a decent one, though. A maiden special weight win at Churchill Downs back on September 12th. And now, supposedly, at least according to this Breeders' Cup website, aiming for the Breeders' Cup. News for me as well. But look, this is a horse that does seem to have a lot of ability. A 2.5 length victory in that one race there at Churchill Downs. Maiden special weight. Looked like a tough maiden special weight. This was one that came out of it. Horses by Munnings. I know a lot of people probably don't like a mile 16th when it comes to Munnings. I don't think it's impossible, though, especially when being out of a Tappet mare. Tells me kind of pedigree on the bottom side can go long. Too much too soon is probably going to be the phrase you hear a lot. I can't argue that. Aggressive placing for sure, though, if he shows up. And look, a horse I think does have a decent future based on that first race. Just not sure if it's in the spot or not. All right. Well, as of right now, Ted Noffey is kind of where I'm leaning in the spot. This could change. I'm recording this on October 14th. You're probably listening to this in a similar date. If you find this later on, check back for the full preview of the race where I give my full picks and actual picks the week of the Breeders' Cup. But as of right now, it is going to be Ted Noffey for me. I'm kind of interested in Blackout Time if he runs. I'm not really sure if he runs. I wouldn't be scared to use Desert Gate again as well. Brant is I got to make a decision on him, right? I got to make a decision if I want to take that horse coming off of first, only 2 starts and the first time going along with the Breeders' Cup. That has me a little bit worried. I kind of looking at Desert Gate and Blackout Time if he runs as well. But again, I kind of heard he wasn't. So we'll see. But Ted Noffey on top for me at this point. This could change. This always when you don't have the past performances and you don't know who's going to run in the race officially, never get married to one. Wait until you can handicap it. That's my biggest advice. But it's a fun talking point. It's fun to kind of look at it right now. So I'm going to go Ted Noffey at this point. Check back in a couple of weeks for the final pick. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Hit the like button if you like it. Subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting the Breeders' Cup this season.